Step into the world where the extraordinary is just the beginning.
We're two psychic mediums diving into spiritual and metaphysical mysteries, everything from spirit messages, animal communication, to eerie synchronicities.
Welcome to the Spirits, Angels, and Guides Oh My podcast.
Where the supernatural gets real, baby.
Hey, Tara.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm okay, thank you. I'm setting myself up for success here. Okay. I'm good. I'm successful already. Let's go.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. We are going to talk about Bigfoot. Okay. Now,
Okay.
everybody knows Bigfoot. Everybody knows Sasquatch, you know, but what if he isn't just an elusive, reclusive creature hiding in the wilderness, but a traveler between dimensions and time?
So
Friend.
what is another word? Sasquatch, Bigfoot,
Yeti, I
Yeti.
believe
That's the one I was.
it depends where you are in the world with how he/she would be named.
Truth. Truth. Okay.
So, for decades, eyewitnesses. Now, I'm going to set this up and then we're going to give an example of an actual sighting, and Tara's going to take that over. But right now, I'm going to set the scene for everyone. So, for decades, eyewitnesses have reported encounters that defy logic. Okay. So, I feel like it has to
Story
be
of
like,
our lives, but anyway.
right, we're mediums, everything defies logic. Um, So the thing that fascinated me more so was that all of the stories around Bigfoot vanishing into thin air or slipping through portals or appearing in places where it couldn't possibly perceivably get to or reach. And so this led me sort of down the rabbit hole of could Sasquatch be something? And I'm calling it Sasquatch because we're in Canada. If you're in the States, you usually call it Bigfoot. But could it be something that's more than just this undiscovered primate? What if this creature moves between realms and appears at pivotal moments in history to observe, guide, or even alter human events? So this is where we're going with some of this. Now,
That's weird. I'm sorry. That's weird to me. Like, why would Bigfoot need to be like Metatron's like right hand man? You know what I mean?
right hand
Like
hairy
Metatron's
man.
the keeper of the human existence, right? Keeps all our records in the Akashic records and in the Hall of Records. And so, are you trying to tell me, baby, and maybe you're not, and that's okay, that Metatron is like sending Bigfoot,
Oh,
Sasquatch, and sending him
no.
down and being like, God's sake, go and record this crap. And if they're doing it wrong, do something about it, big guy.
I think so you and I have been to Sedona a couple times, and we've done the alien watching tour once, and this is I'm not slamming
Never
anyone
again.
on anyone's beliefs or anything like that. I am obsessed with Ancient Aliens show, with ancient architects, with different things that we can't be that ignorant to think that we're the only people in this universe. There has to
Absolutely
be
not.
life elsewhere. So my thought process was not so much around Metatron, but what if he is coming from a parallel universe? Or what if he is coming from a different time capacity where he's traveling different time periods or interdimensionally, not so much
With purpose? Or
well,
just doing it?
with or without purchase. I mean, I have to
Just,
preface.
he needs to bring me a new purse, baby.
But I think with purpose, I don't know. Without, I don't know. Like I always giggle. I don't know if you ever watched the movie Paul, and he's an alien, and he's like, "Why do you humans always think we need to probe you? Like, I don't want to have my finger up your butt." Like, I don't think it's something like weird like that. I think it's, I'm sure half the aliens look at us and go, "What are you dumb humans doing?" Right? I also feel there's a reason that they haven't made contact with a lot of us yet because we're just still too primitive in parts of our brain. But I'm just planting the seed for
Some of
thought.
us more than others.
Right, right. So I'm just planting the food for thought and saying to our listeners, take what you can and leave the rest. Do you think he's an undiscovered primate? Do you think that there's UFO connections or energy or interdimensional phenomena? Like, is it something that, you know, there's and we'll get into some of the evidence, where tracks abruptly and go out of existence. But one of the cool things, if you've listened to Tara's podcast so far, like on paranormal research, even the Bigfoot researchers are taking all the electronic devices and finding disturbances and drained batteries and radio signals interrupted. So for me, that usually says there's something energetically going on, right? So as a psychic medium, even an animal communicator, I would be like, I'd be interested to tap into some of that energy and say, okay, what is this? What is, in a non-verbal communicative way, in like an energetic way. So that's just sort of some of the seeds I wanted to plant before you get to your encounter. The research has come a long way, and Tara and I talked before we started recording this episode about possibly deep diving into some Canadian examples as well, because we have a museum at Harrison Hot Springs here in Canada that has detailed evidence around Sasquatch and footprints and all sorts of cool things. But what we wanted to bring you today was probably one of the best documented cases. Just for those of you, I don't know who has not researched Sasquatch or deep dove into this, but you're going to deep dive with us today. And so,
Me.
what's
Me.
that?
I'm listening to you. I have not deep dive. I deep dive when you deep dive. I just want to say this to everyone listening and watching us. Nan is the researcher out of us. Okay? She is the person that says, I love ancient aliens. I love ancient artifacts. I love ancient everything. I love the Addams family. I love Wednesday Addams. I just want to say that. I love her so much. I went as her last year.
Yeah,
So,
you were good. That was a great costume. I love that.
so there's a difference in the type of people Nan and I are. She loves that kind of stuff, and I'm like, just tell me what to say, and I will say it. But I really do like the idea of coming back to this at some point. If the listeners, if the audience is like, yeah, bitches, do it, then I would love to come back and do a little bit of like sightings in like British Columbia, because we have a
Yeah.
vast wilderness out here, baby. And I know that I spent a lot of time up in Lillooet over the years, and I know there's a lot of Indigenous people that have some stories and whatnot. Maybe I can even find someone to come and chit chat about it.
Yes, that would be amazing. Because I'm
Yeah.
sure yeah, you must have a ton of stories you've heard over your time in Lillooet around Bigfoot. And
As long as they weren't talking through the Addams family. Okay.
so, Tara, why don't you take it away with the 1987 encounter?
Okay, so before we go anywhere, everyone knows, and if you don't, you do now, I butcher every name that comes across that is more than 2 syllables. So, let's just all say, we love you anyway, Tara. Okay, I'm good. I'm going to go ahead and slaughter this. Okay, so Nan has done her researchy search, and the 1987, now I'm going to say this, Snoqualmie,
Snoqualmie. Snoqualmie.
Snoqualmie? Snoqualmie?
Snoqualmie. Snoqualmie.
Snoqualmie?
Snoqualmie.
Okay, it's what it is. You can I'll just point at you and you say it, okay?
You
Okay.
know what's
So,
awesome, guys? I even like said, here's the pronunciation, and I played the little clip for her. But
but
we're
you
just
couldn't hear it. So, and then I tried to write it down and it obviously didn't work. So we're going to do this. The 1987
Snoqualmie.
Portal Incident, a psychic and paranormal Bigfoot encounter. Okay, one of the most compelling cases of Bigfoot being an interdimensional traveler comes from a documented psychic encounter in
Snoqualmie.
National Forest, Washington in 1987. This event, witnessed by a seasoned psychic medium, an ex-military remote viewer, and 2 paranormal researchers, well, that's kind of a cool... Were they all together? Was this like a group baby?
Yeah, so this was the investigation. So
Oh, okay. Hello, friends. 2 paranormal researchers presents a striking mix of physical evidence, psychic impressions, and unexplained anomalies. Okay, this is my kind of crap. Okay. The encounter in the summer of 1987, a group of 4 researchers traveled to a remote section of the
Snoqualmie.
National Forest. See what a team we are?
Well, good.
National Forest, after receiving a tip from a local shaman who claimed that Bigfoot wasn't just an earthly being, but an ancient guardian moving between worlds. Ooh.
The plot thickens.
You're supposed to go, ah.
Oh.
Okay, maybe we're not as good together as I thought. Okay, using EVP electric. Excuse me. Let's start. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in. Have a sip of water. Okay. Okay. Using EVP electronic voice phenomena recordings, infrared cameras, and psychic channeling, they aimed to establish contact with whatever was out there. The night of July 14th. Ooh, a day before my anniversary.
Nice.
Although I was not married in 1987. Anyway, the team set up near a rock formation where local tribes believed a dimensional rift existed.
You were just born in 87, right?
That's right! And if the listeners really weren't listening, they wouldn't have heard that I graduated in 89. Okay, back to the story, because we have that one viewer who says we talk too much. At 2:37 a.m., the ex-military remote viewer, I find that personally very cool, who had experience with government programs like Stargate. Oh, okay. Isn't Stargate a show?
I think it's actually part of a named like UFO branch of investigation in the States.
Okay, because I was going to say, so he was part of the show with Richard Dean Anderson? Okay. Like
Listen,
Stargate.
viewers, if you know more, you throw it in the comments. Just give it
That's
to us.
right.
Because we're putting the icing on the cake, not baking the cake.
And if it wasn't Richard Dean Anderson in that, it's not my fault. Okay, went into a trance state while the psychic medium attempted direct communication. The results were shocking. Shocking, Nancy.
Shocking, listeners.
Key evidence and events. 1. Shadow manifestations on infrared. Thermal imaging showed massive heat signatures appearing and disappearing without any visible movement. These were described as 8 to 10 feet tall with an inhuman gait.
That's crazy, right?
8 to 10 feet tall. That goes with a whole hairy big beastie.
It does. Like all of the research that I've seen, I mean, Sasquatch is massive. Like I think the shortest one ever seen was 6 feet. And that was probably like a teenager or a baby Sasquatch.
It was a baby Sasquatch. Okay. Bizarre time distortions. That's number 2. One researcher's watch jumped forward 13 minutes while another stopped completely at the moment the thermal anomalies appeared. The psychic, who was channeling, reported feeling as if time had slowed down and saw visions of ancient landscapes flashing before her eyes, including massive prehistoric forests and a sky filled with 2 suns.
So, okay, let's pause here for a second. So, when you hear, excuse me, people talk about alien abductions, and X-Files was my favorite show growing up, people, there's a time loss. There's a time continuum that stops, right? So if this researcher's watch stopped or jumped forward 13 minutes, are we back to Sasquatch being alien?
I met Gillian Anderson, by the way, in a Starbucks.
Are you kidding? I love her.
She even signed a receipt or something. That was back when I was a baby in 87. Okay, number 3. We're on 3. Disembodied voices and EVPs. Multiple low-frequency growls were captured on EVP, but one chilling message came through in a mix of English and an unknown dialect. Oh, that's my thing, baby. I love unknown dialects. It says, "We are the keepers. You are not ready."
Ooh.
"We are the keepers. You are not ready." And at that point, I bet you every one of them said, "Damn Skippy, we're not ready. We gotta go."
They had to change their pants and they ran away. And you see how juicy this is? This is a good story.
Well done, Nan. Okay. 4. count it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Footprints that vanished. The team found 3 massive footprints, each over 18 inches long. I feel like that's a big deal.
That is a
Pressed
big deal.
deeply into the soil. Deeply into the soil.
Deep.
However, the tracks suddenly stopped as if the being had disappeared mid-step.
So think about that. If you're 8 to 10 feet tall, you're probably fairly heavy. So it's going to sink deep, and you'd need some skis the size of 18 inches long to be your feet to
You
carry
better
you.
hope that that Bigfoot was not a female because you just gave her body dysmorphia.
I am sorry, female Bigfoot. I'm
Okay.
sorry. Forgive me.
5. Portal-like phenomenon. This is going to
Okay.
be interesting to me. The psychic reported seeing a glowing oval-shaped rift in the darkness. See, wasn't Stargate all about that though? Anyway, which flickered like heat waves before vanishing. One researcher, using night vision, briefly spotted a tall, hairy figure stepping through what looked like liquid air before it disappeared completely. That would be a portal, baby. I believe in portals full on. Like, I know I've seen spirits come through portals, multidimensional beings, and that's a
Ooh.
topic for another day, my friends.
Yeah,
But so I
girl.
believe in all of that, like wholeheartedly, and I believe in star children and all those things. So you
Hmm.
can't, yeah, you can't get me wrong there.
Hmm.
You you can't.
Just can. It's good.
Okay. Aftermath and theories. Ready for this? Then
I
we
am.
can discuss. Following this experience, the team suffered memory gaps, strange dreams of ancient beings walking between realities, and unusual electromagnetic disturbances in their personal electronics for weeks. The ex-military remote viewer later claimed that the encounter felt eerily similar to classified experiences he had during his government work. Which I was going to actually, when I was reading this just a second ago, I actually started to think about, well, this has a lot of the same vibe as when you would be abducted by,
Hmm.
ET.
Hmm.
And you came back, and some of this was the same energy being expressed as what the abductees would say happened to them when they came back. Um, so his government work suggesting that Bigfoot may be utilizing dimensional psychic physics, not psychics, physics,
Physics.
far beyond human understanding. This case remains one of the most detailed and well documented interdimensional Bigfoot encounters, reinforcing the theory that these beings might be travelers from parallel worlds, time periods, or even cosmic observers keeping watch over humanity. Okay, I see where you were going with that now. Nan, can I say something? Do you
Yeah.
remember? Now, hopefully, Tara did not dream this. Hopefully, Tara didn't channel this in some weird way. And hopefully, Nan knows what I'm talking about. Did we not have a really big conversation in another podcast, or maybe just you and I chatting, because I can't remember what happened yesterday, but about a guy that saw something like aliens or Bigfoot, and the military came and took him away eventually, and all this stuff happened. Did we have that conversation, or was that me and Mike?
I am not sure. We've had a lot of conversations around stuff like this, and I know we've had alien conversations
I thought it was in Banff.
before. Mm.
Doesn't it ring a bell?
There's a lot of conversations we've had, but I'm not too sure who, if of a story around the military taking someone away. I
Okay,
do.
I'm gonna ask Mike about that, because I think my husband gets into some of this stuff when it's
Okay.
like super interesting, but he's not super into it. But when it's super interesting, let me ask him about that. But what are your thoughts about all this, girl? You love all this stuff. What's going on? What's Bigfoot doing?
You know, I literally am that X-Files junkie. I want to believe. I do. That was the poster behind Mulder. It was one of those things, and it was
But do
like,
you or don't you? Like, do you believe in this, or are you like, I need more evidence?
I believe. There's been so much evidence. There's been so much verbal storytelling. Some of my best friends are indigenous, and I have heard stories from my teen years up to my adult years at the young age of 23. No, wait, I'm not allowed to say that because my kid's 26. He's like, you got to do the math better. So, but I've heard the stories so much over time, and there's there's so much similarities, not just with the local indigenous friends of mine, but the metaphysical friends of mine, and then across the world with people I don't even know, where there's documented cases of this. So whether it be the Yeti or the Sasquatch or the Bigfoot, whatever it is you want to call, there has to be a reason we haven't found them yet. Like, so how could it not be an interdimensional thing?
You know what pisses me off is the
What?
people that fake this shit. The
Oh,
people
yes.
that go out with some big, huge footprint and put it all in and then claim all these things. Like, legit.
What do
Don't
you
bother.
what do you believe?
Oh, I believe in it. I believe in all that stuff. So
Yeah.
I believe in things that other people like take me for who I am as a medium and and my persona and my personality. But I'm the person who would rather read about witches and werewolves and vampires and stuff like that than anything else. So if you're going to say to me, hey, there's this, why couldn't there be this?
Right.
Well, and like you said, and it's so many people say it, like what who the hell said that there is no only us? Like that
Right.
goes back down to like that whole privileged, like we are the best of the best. Oh, we so are not, and we are proving that every day right now. But there's got to be other things.
Yes.
Whether you believe that God put you here
Yeah.
or evolution came along, there's got to be, God must have put somewhere on Mars or on such and such or in another dimension. I mean, the dimension thing is the biggest thing for me. I am not one of those people, though, can I just say this, that believes everything is, oh, we're in the fifth dimension, you got to get into the
Oh,
fifth dimension, and oh, you're traveling to the third dimension. I mean, I teach a little bit of stuff energetically about the fourth and fifth when it
yeah.
comes to like energy healing practitioner work, but I am not the person who's like, oh, we're in fifth dimension, so I've leveled up to this other place. That's not how spirit has ever let me see it. It's always been very, very logical. We are here with purpose. Yes, there's things that go on around us that
Hmm.
we have to kind of tap into. So yeah, bring me a good Bigfoot, Yeti, Sasquatch, snowman, snow woman, snowballs, whatever. Bring me something because I don't need to see it. And that's the other thing for me is that I don't need to see it. If I feel it, if I know it's there, and this will not be enough for people, right? It will not be
Hmm.
enough for them to just say, well, I feel it's there. If you're logical, analytical, if you're left brained, you're going to want all the science, you're going to want all the cool technology things that go with it. I literally can say to you with my full chest, oh yeah, there's Sasquatch. Maybe they
Hmm.
don't call themselves Sasquatch. Maybe they don't call themselves Bigfoot.
Exactly. Like they might come, there's one medium I follow. I bought her book and it's about the 22 starseed types. And in her Akashic work and her past life work, she's discovered 22 different types of beings. Let's use an example that most readers may have heard of, the Pleiadians, right? So the Palladian is a name, but we've never had one-on-one contact or channeled contact from Bigfoot. So maybe Bigfoot is calling themselves something super cool, and we've given them the most primitive name ever. Whereas Palladians,
Interesting though.
there's been
That
channeled stuff. Yeah.
That's interesting. And lots of people, and the cool thing is that if you can just get out of your left brain and just focus on the fact that there is not a hope in hell, that we are the only species being, whatever you want to call it, out there, then you can be open to all the different
Hmm.
beings that can be out there.
Absolutely.
I even believe in shapeshifters, so
Again, but you, excuse me, my allergies are bothering me tonight.
excused.
You've done a lot of work with the indigenous community, and that is very, very heavily prevalent in a lot of the teachings with shape-shifting energy, right?
Yeah,
I
but
believe.
I see it all the time. I'm going to share something kind of cute, guys, and then we can wrap this up, Nan. Years and years and years ago, I did a workshop at a really cute local shop out in Port Coquitlam. And when I went to the person who owned the location, I was like, I want to do a fairy workshop. And she was like, okay. And I was like, oh no, like you'll love this. I said, watch the people that come to this. I said, and then we'll have a conversation after the class. So she allowed the class to go through. She was a great tarot reader. She was witchy. She was great. So, you know, she wasn't actually against it. I think she just didn't know if there would be people interested in it. And I'm like, baby, there's always people interested in the fairies, the fae. And so the class went on. People came into the class. And as the people are coming in, I'm like, hello, hello, hello. And at the end of it, I said, so what did you notice about the people that came into the class? And she dead looked me in the eye and said, they all look like they are fairy or, you know, like gnomes or like,
Yes.
they all had like a nature spirit kind of essence to them. And I said, and that's because the idea and the energy of the class spoke to their soul self.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Spoke in here to who they really are.
Yes.
Whether
yes.
they remember it, whether they recognize it or not. I will never forget that class. I'm sure that woman wouldn't either. But it was phenomenal.
That's a great
Phenomenal.
story. And so true. And I know you and I have been at events where we've had people walk by and go, they're fae. they got the fae energy, right? Like, so that's super cool. I love that story. Well, hopefully our listeners got something out of our story we shared today. As always, throw your comments below, guys. We love interacting with you. This journey that Tara and I are taking with you is so much fun.
I love this because it's got a little bit of teaching, but it's got a lot of like fun, just like let's have fun. I teach all this stuff all day, every day, and I think sometimes it's nice to just come in and like be authentically like fluffy.
Agreed.
I'm fluffy.
I'm fluffy too.
Fluffy. I feel fluffy. Okay, that's it. So everyone, we are wishing you all sorts of things.
Shine your light brightly.
Be fluffy. Be fluffy. Nan has to go and start a GoFundMe to get a female Sasquatch some therapy now. Okay, bye.
Bye.
Thanks for joining us on this journey into the wonderfully weird and metaphysical.
If you loved what you heard, don't forget to follow us for more insights and behind the scenes fun.
You can find me in all my social media platforms, Spirit Essence by Tara Diana. Let's connect and keep this conversation going, baby.
And I'm over at Nancy Christine Brady. Drop by, say hi, and share your supernatural stories with us.
Be sure to like, share, and subscribe so you never miss an episode. And for sure, check out our Instagram at Spirits, Angels, Guides. And don't forget to like.
Until next time, stay curious, shine brightly, and keep exploring the extraordinary. See you soon on Spirits, Angels, and Guides. Oh my.
Bye.